welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexandra and I am so excited for today's video. It is an epic, massive kitchen transformation and you guys aren't even ready. Trust me when I say you're not ready. A huge shout out to Milanote for sponsoring today's video. I always say that one of the most important parts of designing a space is creating a mood board before you actually start purchasing products. And a lot of you have been asking me what program I use, and I am so excited to share my new go-to Milanote with you because it has changed the game when it comes to designing a space and keeping everything organized. More about them later, but wait. Before we get into the makeover, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell so you are always notified when I put up a new video. Shocking statistic, over 48% of you who come back week after week to watch these videos are not yet subscribed. It's like the easiest thing to do. You just push that button and I would truly appreciate it. Okay, for real, let's get into this kitchen makeover. So Christy reached out to me. Her and her partner have just moved into a new condo. They own the condo, regardless if you rent or you own. I know that all of you watching this channel want budget-friendly and like easy solutions to transform your space. A lot of kitchen renos cost so much money, but if you are on a budget, there are ways you can make it look really beautiful without dropping a ton of cash.
Hey Alexandra, it's me, Christy, and as you know, my husband Chris and I recently moved into a little one bedroom, but the kitchen is really dated. It looks like it hasn't been touched since the building was built almost 25 years ago. It's got sort of an eat, pray, love Mediterranean style to it. I spend a lot of time in my kitchen cooking and baking and coming up with recipes and meal ideas for my Plant-Based Christy Instagram. So I definitely need a kitchen that's functional, but I would also like it to be like fun and modern and a place I am happy to spend hours on end in. Help!
I want to go through my ideas with you, what I'm thinking for this space, and I am using Milanote to keep all of my thoughts, ideas in one place. Let me show you. Before I was using Photoshop and also had like a million lists between Alana and I, and it was really hard to keep track of everything. But since I have discovered Milanote, this is my new go-to for me and my entire team when it comes to designing a space because it lets me keep my mood board, my to-do lists, my before photos, my measurements, like everything all in one place. So here's what I'm thinking for Christy's kitchen. I'm thinking a bluey green color for the cabinets. I'm thinking gold hardware, black accents. One of my favorite things about Milanote is that you can add an extension to your internet browser toolbar. So in this case, I'm looking on Mitzi for a brand new light. And once I found something I've liked, I just push the little Milanote button and it imports it into Christy's kitchen board. So then I just go right over to my mood board, drag it in, and there's the beautiful new light. Another thing I love about it is that, as you can see here, Alana and I are on the board at the same time. We're sending notes to each other. We have a list of to-dos. So that way my team and I can just like seamlessly work on one space together, even if we're not in the office, which we're not right now. We're all working remotely. The best part about this whole thing, other than being super organized and just such an easy to use platform, is that this program is completely free. So head to the link in my description box to sign up for a free account and let me know in the comments down below if you're using it and if it's changed the game for you as much as it's changed the game for me. So now that I've planned the space, it's time to head into the makeover. Christy has left for a few days. I'm so excited. This is like the first step to creating her dream apartment.
Oh. What? I just checked myself out in the camera and didn't realize it was recording.
Hey guys. So there's nothing like a Monday morning kitchen reno. We've already run into like some hiccups, but they are all solvable, which is great. We didn't have enough countertops. The sink was too big and we had way less space to paint than we thought. So usually when I'm doing these makeovers, if it wasn't COVID, I would go and do a scout with my team beforehand. But since we're doing this all remotely, we just walked into the space and we're like, okay, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. So this is the state of the kitchen right now. I have hired Isaac, my amazing contractor friend, to come and help us with this kitchen reno because the first part of this video is really gonna be like a mini reno. And I would suggest that if you are not used to doing renos or like tearing down walls and countertops, then you wanna hire someone to help you with this part. I have like calmed down after a little bit of a morning like, woo, lots of obstacles, and we're ready to go, so let's do this. We are just gonna start by clearing everything out of this kitchen and then taking the cabinet doors off of the frames because Alana and I are gonna spend the day painting those while Isaac does some of the more like heavy demo. I noticed that Christy has all of her cookbooks here, so we might just leave this door off completely. TBD.
You all right?
All good. I mean, that's one way to get the door off. Painting cabinets is such a budget-friendly way to upgrade your space. But I know that this can be kind of daunting because cabinets obviously come in tons of finishes and you wanna make sure you're using the right product. So because there's like a million cabinet finishes on the market, you wanna make sure you're always using a primer. That primer depends on what material your cabinet actually is. So I would suggest going to the hardware store, or if you have a contractor friend that you can call up, I would ask them what they recommend, but the hardware store should be able to help you. So we went with Benjamin Moore's paint line to paint these cabinets. They sent us a really heavy duty primer specifically for cabinets. One thing I will say is you wanna make sure you have enough space.
We've turned the living room into like a paint station. So the cabinets that are drying are over there, and then Alana's working on painting these ones over here. It's all happening.
Painting cabinets is pretty involved. So you have to do a base coat of primer, and then you have to flip the cabinets over once that side is dry, paint the other side, let that dry, and then go in with 2 coats of paint. So as you can see, we're working in a pretty tight space. We made it work, but it took us longer than we anticipated. So just make sure you have a system in place before you're gonna start painting your cabinets because it is an undertaking. Not difficult, but just a bit of an undertaking. Okay, the sink is coming out to make way for a new countertop. Let the demo continue.
Of course, the first time I hit a faucet with a hammer is the first time I'm installing a faucet on YouTube.
Oh yeah!
It's like a real kitchen demo that you see on all those shows, you know?
Sweet ass.
Whoa, okay.
So the demo of the kitchen is basically done. It's all here. We're still waiting for an extra countertop from IKEA, which is being delivered today. So in the meantime, we're gonna finish priming all the cabinets. And then Alana is gonna start priming the back of the island here and the side because this is all gonna be painted the same color as the cabinets. It's a bit chaotic, friends, but it's all gonna come together.
This primer is mildew resistant, it covers up stains, and it's called Fresh Start, which is fitting because we are literally giving these cabinets a fresh start. But I love a primer that has a stain blocker like this one because no matter what condition your kitchen cabinets are in, this will just help cover any imperfections before you actually put on a gorgeous top coat color. I definitely have paint on my forehead. The cabinets are primed, they're drying, so are the drawer fronts. Around the stove has been painted as well. Side of the island, and then this side of the island, it's all coming together. This is like the reality of shooting in a small space, you know? We just make it work. Is my phone ringing? Nope, It's just James. It's literally James. Whenever my phone bings, it seems to be James. This is the peel and stick backsplash we are using. I don't know if you can see, but the issue is that the tile sticks out from the wall because before the counter had a lip to it. So what we're gonna do is just place a piece of wood all across here and then use the peel and stick tile over that. We could have tiled like underneath and just painted the whole thing white with like some super paint that just like adheres really well. But I was like, that's not really realistic renter friendly tips. I mean, I know we've torn out half the kitchen, so like this isn't like a completely renter friendly video. It's not at all, but I do think like taking tile off the wall and then retiling is a whole other like skill set. Whereas the things we're doing are pretty achievable if you have someone like Isaac who knows what they're doing to like help guide the process. And we only have 3 days to do this makeover. So the solution we've come up with, I think, is really gonna work. It's now time to paint the cabinets blue. The color is called Dragonfly. I'll show you guys, but it's like a bluey green and I think it's gonna look so good. Oh yeah. I'm really excited about this color. It's kind of like a hunter green, but it has a bit of blue in it.
Like a dark aqua.
Yeah, I like that, dark aqua. I love it. It's very like rich. Okay, I'm gonna take a step back. Aroni. It looks so good. It looks so good. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is just paint a first coat on all of these cabinet fronts. And then tomorrow we're gonna do the second side. But yeah, we gotta get these all painted in the next like hour. What a day. It feels like there's green paint like everywhere. Gotten most of the cabinet fronts painted, and then tomorrow we're gonna flip them and do the other side. I've given them 2 coats, most of them. We will see you bright and early tomorrow for another epic day. This is a big makeover, but we're doing it. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's day 2 of this makeover and it's a little bit chaotic. Won't lie, I'm like freaking out a little bit. There's green paint just like everywhere, all over the living room. But Isaac's here again and we are gonna start on the countertops. I cannot stress enough, if you are doing an on-budget kitchen reno, use IKEA. They have tons of materials like this that look like stone, but it's actually made out of laminate, so you can cut right through it. This is the product I would recommend using if you're doing it yourself because you can actually cut out the holes that you need for the sink and the faucet to size, and it's such amazing quality at a really great price point. We're cutting countertops in the condo. There's just stuff everywhere. Alana and I were just talking about how like we will probably never do a kitchen reno like this again in 3 days. It's a learning curve and I know it's gonna look so beautiful. It's just getting there is causing me a bit of panic, but yeah, it's all good. Like, look at you in your like perfect outfit, just surrounded by all the green paint. I will say, you guys, that because the paint adheres like so well to the primer, I think it's oil based, so it just dries like with a bit of a streak in it if you don't do the proper amount of coats. So we're just gonna have to keep adding layers to this. I think 3 coats, but this is drying so nicely. And with the marble countertop, it just looks so good. Now it's time to add in this gorgeous black sink, also from IKEA. I decided to go with black rather than stainless steel because I think black is a really great color for a faucet or a sink because it just kind of elevates the kitchen a little bit and makes it look really sophisticated. Plus the black with that green cabinet color, chef's kiss. I never do the chef's kiss thing right. Is it like this? Every video. Noah? he's busy. You get the idea, chef's kiss.
This just looks so fantastic. Sink is in, stove is under there. This is also drying so nicely around here. What a whirlwind is all I'm gonna say.
Now I'm getting a head start on laying some of these tiles over top of the old Backsplash. I have used these peel and stick Backsplash tiles so much. That's because I love them. They work. I've had them in my kitchen just over 2 years, I think, and they have not warped. They have not changed like one single bit since I installed them. They look real. People often ask, are those real pink ceramic tiles? No, they're peel and stick. They're completely renter friendly and obviously just like way easier than taking out an entire ceramic Backsplash.
When you reach an outlet, the great thing about these tiles is that you can just cut them, and that way when you put the cover on, yeah, it looks totally seamless and perfect. Let's keep going.
The other thing I love with these tiles is that they are so easy to install. You just need scissors to cut them or an X-Acto knife, but like scissors work just fine. And yes, you can put them over existing tile. You'll notice that the before tiles kind of like a wavy texture to them, and these didn't work when you put them on. They sit really nice and flush. You wouldn't really know what's underneath them, which is awesome.
Finally, on the last cabinet that needs to be painted. These are all drying. These are done, ready to go up in the kitchen. And then these need a second coat still. But I'm so happy. It feels like I've been painting cabinets for the past 2 days, which I have been. Yeah, we're almost there.
Hey guys, it's day 3. I don't know how we did it, how we made it to this point, but we did. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start putting the cabinets back up. Put the drawers in, they look great. I'm gonna add knobs in a second. This one isn't painted, and some of the trim still needs to be painted, the green color as well, but I'm waiting until we're basically done because the cabinet doors also need touch up. So tonight there's gonna be like a frantic, like, I was gonna say crew, it's just me and Alana. Tonight we're just gonna go around and do touch-ups and like paint all of the trim that's still primed. You guys, we're trying to put cabinet faces back on and like, it's much harder than it was to take them off, that's all I'm gonna say. This makeover has been a very steep learning curve, but we're here. Sometimes DIY projects are hard. Sometimes you just have to try again, try again. We did it. Not sure how, but it's looking good. It's looking good. So next up is hardware. You guys know I always say knobs make such a huge difference. Even if you're not gonna paint your cabinets, just change out the knobs and it's gonna elevate your kitchen, I promise. So I am going to put these on the drawers, and I'm also going to put the hexagons on the doors. I've already done them here and they look so good. These look so good. Ah, they're so good. They're so like statement and bold.
Easiest thing you can do in a rental to make it look stylish. Doesn't matter what room. Doesn't matter if you're painting or doing any other changes, changing out those overhead lights. Thank you to Mitzi for this gorgeous ceiling light. It just ups the game, changes this entire space, and I love it.
Next up, I'm gonna finish sticking on these tiles that I started yesterday. We're caulking the bottom where the tile meets the countertop. So you don't have to worry about the edge being like super perfect because it's gonna be hidden. So I'm just lining the pattern up and then kind of eyeballing exactly where I'll need to cut. I'm just gonna cut a straight line. Okay, now I'm just peeling off the back, lining it up again, sticking it down like that. And then when you get to the bottom, you just wanna make sure you're pressing it into the bottom, and it's gonna fold a little bit, but that's the piece that we're going to kind of slice off with a knife, and then we're going to caulk the bottom. Now that you've cut one, you can use this as a stencil. You just place it on top of your next tile, and then you know exactly where to cut. Okay, so when you get to a corner, you wanna do exactly what you were doing before. Line it up. I find that it's sometimes easier to line it up on the side first, like this. These are super forgiving, so if you make a mistake, you can just pull them back. And then, when you get to the corner, you just want to literally like push it into the corner, just like peel and stick wallpaper. And you just wanna smooth it down. And that's how you get it into a corner. Next one. We're done. I can't say enough good things about these tiles. I love them in my kitchen, I love them in this kitchen, and it was just such an easy fix for that awful backsplash that was here before. So, the next thing I'm gonna do is wallpaper their white fridge with peel and stick wallpaper. I did this in my home, so many of you guys loved it. If you want an in-depth tutorial of how to do it step by step, I will link the video up here. This wallpaper is from Levette's. I am obsessed with Levette's right now, and I feel like this brushstroke pattern is so perfect for this kitchen and like brings in those black and white accents that are throughout. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take off the handles. So this is what I did for my fridge. Left like ½ an inch on this side so I can fold it around. But I am gonna cut this down to size first because it's quite long. And I love this pattern because it's really gonna look like continuous. Actually, I could just take this off the fridge and cut it here. This is always like the most challenging part of peel and stick wallpaper. Oh my God, that looks so good. This is like the easiest hack. The key thing though is that you wanna line up the wallpaper, obviously. And then when you get to the bottom and the sides, you just fold it over. I'm gonna take a step back-a-roni and reveal it to myself. How cool and beautiful is this fridge now? If you are looking for an upgrade on your fridge handle, you can find replacement fridge handles on like Wayfair and Amazon, but I didn't think of that until just now, so we don't have time to do that for this makeover, but I still think it's gonna look good. You have like the black and whites going on, which I like. Yeah. I'm keeping this cabinet open as like a little open shelf moment. Christy has lots of awesome cookbooks that I think should be out on display. And I'm thinking of putting a hanging plant here. So yesterday I patched up the holes with just some spackle. I'm gonna do it on this side as well. I just wanted to see how the spackle would take. It looks awesome. And then I'm also gonna prime all around the edges here because the outside of the cabinet is gonna be the same green color. I did think about painting the inside of the cabinet, but honestly, it's just gonna be really difficult and the clock is ticking, but I think just having the outside green will be enough. These holes are usually like standard in IKEA furniture. I just think it makes it look kind of incomplete if we're leaving it open. So I'm just spackling over the holes. And then when this dries, I'm gonna sand it down and paint over it just with white paint so it all blends in. So, game time decision. I've decided not to paint the frame of this shelf the same as the cabinets. I think it looks like it's just kind of floating, which is nice, which is what I want. And to be honest, we are like down to the wire right now, and I don't want a chance messing this up and waiting for it to dry and it getting messy. So, I'm leaving it white. I think it works. It's time to style. So because Christy's kitchen is, on the smaller side, it's a condo, there's no designated pantry area. So I had this vision to just line the countertop with glass jars filled with dried goods. These are my favorite jars from IKEA. I like these because they're bamboo wood top. So I'm just gonna start pouring dried goods in here and lining them up against the back. It's gonna look so good. Functional and stylish. Tip for you guys, cut out the expiry date on your dried goods, put them on the bottom of the jar. That way you know when things expire once you take them out of the package. I love Mintage for art, and I love that they have art for like every room in the home. So I just typed in kitchen art and this beautiful still life popped up. Now, I really want to put this here. It feels like it belongs here, but it's not practical. There's gonna be stuff splattering all over it, flames going. So I'm just gonna hold it here so you can all see like what I really want to do. Instead, I'm going to hang it right over what looks like a phone jack. I don't think they're gonna use this. And I'm just hanging it with 3M command strips.
Just a couple of finishing touches, and then it's time to reveal the space to Christy.
Okay, I want you to picture what your kitchen looks like.
Okay. Tile, pretty dated, pretty lived in.
On the count of 3, I want you to open your eyes. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh! This is like a completely different house! Alexandra! I can't breathe. I'm legitimately shocked. This is unbelievable. The light looks so good. The fridge, like I'm gonna burst into tears. These knobs are so bougie. I love them. This thing is so huge. I love it. I'm like, duh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I am so happy with how much Christy loved this kitchen. What an amazing project. So satisfying to see those before and afters. This was a huge undertaking. It was a huge learning experience for me, but I am so proud of what we were able to accomplish on a budget, on a time crunch. I think that if I can do this, you guys can definitely do this as well. Thank you to Milanote for sponsoring today's video. Milanote is available for free. There's no time limit. Use the link in my description box and let me know in the comments down below what design project or DIY project you are planning next. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.